The evening had settled over the bustling capital of Zarmina, a planet where gleaming spires touched the skies and bioluminescent gardens lined the streets, casting a surreal glow over the faces of its inhabitants. In the grand palace at the heart of the capital, a significant assembly was taking place, one that would soon ripple across the cosmos to Earth. Inside the opulent throne room, Queen Lysara, ruler of Zarmina, stood before her council, her expression serene yet commanding. Beside her were her 3 daughters, each a striking figure of authority and grace. Esteemed members of the council, Lysara began, her voice echoing slightly off the high, ornate ceilings. Our world thrives on diversity and the infusion of new strengths. It is time we look beyond our stars for this renewal. The council murmured in agreement, their eyes reflecting a mix of anticipation and curiosity. In accordance with our traditions and with an eye towards the future, I decree that we seek a consort from humanity, a species just beginning to brush the vast canvas of interstellar society. This consort will partner with my daughters to ensure the vigor of our lineage and the enrichment of our gene pool. As the Queen's declaration sank in, the assembly buzzed with whispers and nods of approval. The princesses, however, exchanged glances, each processing the weight of their mother's words in her own way. It was at this moment that the grand doors of the throne room opened to admit an unexpected guest. A human, Jack, who had been part of a diplomatic envoy, strode in. His timing was nothing short of uncanny. "I apologize for the interruption, Your Majesty," Jack said, bowing respectfully. "I was informed of this meeting and felt it my duty to attend, given the subject." Queen Lysara smiled, a subtle warmth breaking through her regal demeanor. "Jack, your presence is fortuitous. We were just discussing the future involvement of a human in our royal lineage." Jack's eyes widened slightly, realizing the personal implications. "I am honored, Your Majesty, and if I may be so bold, what exactly does this involvement entail?" The Queen gestured to her daughters. "You will spend time with each of my daughters, learning our ways and sharing yours. The Council and I will observe these interactions to ensure that the match is beneficial to both parties." The eldest princess, Ariane, stepped forward, her gaze analytical yet friendly. "We look forward to understanding more about your species, Jack. Humanity's resilience and ingenuity are well spoken of." Jack nodded, his diplomatic mask firmly in place. "And I am eager to learn more about your culture and contribute to this unique partnership." A younger princess, Celine, approached, her curiosity piqued. "We hear tales of Earth's music and arts. It would be interesting to see how they compare to our own. And I'm interested in your sciences, especially your ecological and biological advancements," added the youngest, Elira, her voice tinged with genuine enthusiasm. Jack chuckled, the tension easing slightly. "Then it seems we have much to discuss and share. I hope to meet all your expectations." Queen Lysara clapped her hands, a signal that echoed softly through the room. "Let this be the dawn of a new chapter for Zarmina and Earth alike." This council is adjourned. As the council members dispersed, Jack found himself surrounded by the princesses, each eager to start this unprecedented exchange. They led him through the glowing gardens, beginning their conversations under Zarmina's starlit sky, their voices blending with the soft whispers of the night. This first chapter of their story was just beginning, and the stakes, as well as the potential, were colossal. Jack's shuttle descended through the vibrant skies of Zarmina, the horizon stretching out in bands of color he had never seen on Earth. As the craft touched down on the sleek landing pad adjacent to the palace, he was greeted by an entourage of Zarminian officials, their attire shimmering with an array of embedded crystals that caught the sunlight. Leading the welcoming committee was Sir Kalen, the Queen's chief diplomat, a tall figure whose demeanor exuded a calm authority. He extended a hand to Jack as he disembarked. "Welcome to Zarmina, Mr. Jack. I trust your journey was comfortable?" "Very much so, thank you, Sir Kalen," Jack replied, shaking his hand. The view on approach was something else. Kalen smiled, gesturing towards the palace. "The Queen has instructed me to ensure your integration is as smooth as possible. Shall we?" As they walked, they were joined by Dr. Farron, a Zarminian scientist known for his work in xenobiology. He was keen on discussing human science with Jack. Mr. Jack, I've read some of your published works on Earth's ecosystems. Quite fascinating. I am particularly interested in your research on microbial biomes. Jack was pleased by the interest. Thank you, Dr. Farron. I'm eager to learn about your own research as well. There's much we can share, I believe. The trio entered the palace, walking through halls adorned with art that depicted Zarmina's history, a tapestry of their accomplishments and aspirations. They arrived at a large, airy room where two more figures awaited. Captain Torin, the head of the Royal Guard, and Lauren, a young diplomat in training. Captain Torin, a robust man with a stern yet fair look, nodded at Jack. Security is our priority, Mr. Jack. While you are under our roof, consider yourself as protected as any member of the royal family. Lauren, eager and observant, added, and I will be helping with any linguistic barriers you encounter, though your Zarminian is quite impressive. Thank you both, Jack responded, noting the efficiency and warmth of his reception. The group then moved to a more informal setting, a garden with views of the distant mountains. Here, they were served light refreshments, and the conversation shifted towards more personal interests, helping Jack to ease into his new environment. Tell us, Jack, Kalen began, his tone friendly. What are some hobbies you enjoy back on Earth? It's not all work, I hope. Jack laughed, relaxing into the chair. Well, I'm an avid hiker and a bit of a photographer. Nothing professional, but I do enjoy capturing moments. Photography? Fascinating, exclaimed Lauren. You'll find Zarmina's landscapes quite worthy of your lens. Dr. Farron leaned forward, intrigued. And when you speak of hiking, how does one engage with nature on Earth? Here, we have guided paths that use anti-gravity fields to prevent ecological damage. That sounds incredible, Jack said. On Earth, we walk a lot, right on the ground. It's a bit more tactile. Perhaps you could show us one day, suggested Captain Torin, the hint of a smile on his face. A hike, Earth style. I'd like that, Jack admitted, feeling a growing sense of camaraderie. The afternoon waned, and as the sun set, casting long shadows over the garden, the group discussed plans for the coming days. Jack would begin by attending a series of cultural and scientific briefings, and of course, he would meet the princesses again. As they all stood to leave, Kalen placed a friendly hand on Jack's shoulder. We're quite pleased to have you here, Jack. This is a significant time for both our worlds, and we hope your stay will be both enlightening and enjoyable. Thank you, Sir Kalen, Jack replied, feeling a mixture of excitement and responsibility as he looked towards the fading light. I believe it will be. The day had been long and full of new faces and ideas, but Jack felt a surprising sense of belonging. As he walked back to his quarters, the cool evening air carried the soft scents of Zarmina's flora, and for the first time since his arrival, the alien planet felt a little like home. The morning on Zarmina began with the gentle hum of the floating gardens, waking to the soft light of its twin suns. Jack was escorted to the palace's central dome, a place designed for formal introductions and significant events. Today, it was arranged for his official meeting with the princesses, an occasion marked by both ceremony and personal curiosity. Sir Kalen was again by Jack's side, explaining the protocol as they walked through the grand corridors. Each princess will share a part of our culture with you. It's both a learning opportunity and a chance for each of you to assess compatibility in various aspects of life. As they entered the dome, Jack saw the three princesses already present, each standing by a different exhibit that seemed to represent their interests and responsibilities. Princess Ariane, the eldest, approached first, her bearing regal yet welcoming. Mr. Jack, I oversee our agricultural innovations. I would like to show you how we've integrated biotechnology with traditional farming to enhance yield and nutritional value. Please, call me Jack, he responded, intrigued. They walked over to a holographic display showing fields that thrived in harmony with their native ecosystems. It's impressive, Jack commented as Ariane explained the technology. On Earth, we're just beginning to understand the full potential of such integration without harming our environment. Ariane smiled, pleased. Perhaps we can learn from each other. I believe our methods could benefit from fresh perspectives. Next, Princess Celine invited Jack to a section filled with artistic expressions. Art is essential in understanding a culture. Here, we use art to document history and explore future possibilities, she explained, showing him interactive art pieces that responded to the viewer's emotions. Jack was fascinated. There's a raw power in art's ability to evoke feelings. We strive for the same connection through our art back home. Their discussion deepened over shared concepts in art and technology, revealing Celine's profound interest in emotional intelligence and its applications. Finally, Princess Elira led Jack to a serene garden filled with exotic plants and flowing water. I am passionate about our planet's ecology, she shared, her eyes lighting up as she talked about each plant's role in their environment. This reminds me of Earth's conservation efforts, Jack said, feeling an immediate connection with Elira's enthusiasm for nature. Maybe you'd like to see some of the work I've documented through photography? Elira was delighted. I would love that. It's one thing to study ecology in theory, and another to see it through someone else's eyes. Their conversation wandered from scientific to personal as they discussed their hopes for the future. A future where perhaps their worlds could share more than just ideas. As the session concluded, Sir Kalen joined them again. Jack, how do you find our princesses and their passions? Jack reflected on the morning's interactions. It's more than I anticipated. Each princess is remarkable, not just in her duties, but in her vision. I'm genuinely impressed by the depth of their commitments and their openness to new ideas. Kalen nodded, satisfied. Good. The Queen believes that understanding and cooperation begin with shared interests and mutual respect. You are here not only to potentially join our families, but to bridge our worlds. As they left the dome, Jack felt a surge of optimism. This wasn't just a diplomatic mission. It was a chance to forge something lasting and meaningful, not only with the princesses but with all of Zarmina. The rest of his day was free for him to process everything he had learned and to prepare for the coming days, which promised even deeper dives into the rich tapestry of Zarminian culture and possibly the beginnings of a new chapter for both Earth and Zarmina. As dawn broke over the gleaming spires of Zarmina, Jack found himself accompanied by Lauren, the young diplomat, for a day dedicated to deeper cultural immersion. They started in the bustling city center, a vibrant hub of Zarminian life, filled with citizens engaged in their daily routines. Today, you'll see how we live, not just as royalty or scientists, but as ordinary Zarminians, Lauren explained, leading Jack through the lively marketplace. Their first stop was a popular cafe, where locals gathered for morning discussions over steaming cups of a local beverage similar to coffee. Lauren introduced Jack to the owner, a friendly man named Tezen. Welcome, Jack. Tezen greeted him with a wide smile. Try our Zerka brew. It's made from beans grown in our northern provinces. As they sipped the strong, aromatic drink, Jack noted, it's quite robust. On Earth, we have countless varieties of coffee, each with its unique profile. This would be a hit back home. Tezen laughed heartily. Maybe one day I'll open a cafe on Earth. The conversation flowed easily, and Jack learned about the challenges and triumphs of small business owners on Zarmina. Tezen shared stories of adapting to market changes and customer tastes, a universal theme that resonated with Jack's understanding of Earth businesses. Next, Lauren led Jack to a traditional Zarminian school where children learned not only academics but also cultural arts. The headmaster, a wise and elderly man named Piro, welcomed them warmly. Education shapes our future, Piro stated as they observed a class in session. We focus on holistic development, intellect, empathy, and creativity. Jack watched children engaged in an interactive lesson about the ecosystem. It's similar on Earth, though I think we could learn a thing or two about your integration of technology and nature. Piro nodded. Perhaps a teacher exchange could be beneficial. Sharing knowledge is the cornerstone of progress. As the morning turned to afternoon, Lawrence suggested a visit to a local artist's studio. The artist, a middle-aged man named Corin, specialized in sculptures that incorporated light and sound. Each piece tells a story, Corin explained, showing them his work. This one represents the harmony between our cities and the natural world. Jack was particularly struck by a sculpture that responded to their presence, changing colors and emitting soft harmonies. Incredible, he remarked. The interaction adds a whole new dimension. It's like it's alive. That's the idea. Corin smiled. Art on Zarmina is not just to be viewed. It's to be experienced. The day concluded with a visit to the Royal Library, where Jack met with historians and archivists eager to share their records with him. Among them was Dr. Farron, who had compiled a special collection on Zarminian human interactions throughout history. Understanding our past interactions can guide our future ones, Dr. Farron explained as they examined various texts and artifacts. Jack was fascinated by the detailed accounts and remarked, "There's so much we didn't know about each other. Documents like these could help bridge so many gaps." As they left the library, the sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the city. Lauren looked at Jack, smiling. "I hope today has given you a deeper insight into who we are." "It has," Jack affirmed, feeling more connected to Zarmina than ever. "And I'm starting to see how much more we can share and learn from each other." Lauren nodded, pleased. "Tomorrow, you'll spend more time with the princesses. They are eager to show you more of our world." As Jack headed back to his quarters, his mind was buzzing with ideas and possibilities. This cultural immersion wasn't just educational. It was forming the bedrock for a meaningful collaboration, perhaps even a lasting friendship between Earth and Zarmina. The morning was fresh and vibrant as Jack met with Princess Elira in the palace's extensive botanical gardens. Today, he would spend the day with her, exploring more personal aspects of Zarminian culture and sharing his own experiences from Earth. "Good morning, Jack." Elira greeted him with a smile that seemed to echo the garden's serenity. "I thought we'd start the day here, among some of my favorite things." "That sounds perfect," Jack replied, admiring the variety of exotic plants and flowers around them. As they walked, Elira pointed out various species, each with unique adaptations. "This one can store water for over a year," she explained, gesturing to a thick, bulbous plant. "And this one over here emits a light during the night to attract pollinators." "Fascinating," Jack said, genuinely intrigued. "We have bioluminescent life on Earth too, but mostly in the ocean. There's so much synergy in our world's biologies." Elira nodded, pleased with his interest. "I've read about Earth's oceans. The biodiversity is impressive." Their conversation flowed naturally as they delved into discussions about conservation efforts on both their planets. As the morning progressed, they found a secluded bench near a softly bubbling fountain. Jack took a moment to share photos from his hikes on Earth, showing Elira the lush greenery of the Amazon and the rugged peaks of the Himalayas. "Each ecosystem has its own beauty," he said, scrolling through images on his device. Elira leaned closer to get a better view. "These are beautiful. It makes me want to visit Earth even more." "There's a lot to see," Jack agreed, smiling at her enthusiasm. "And a lot we can learn from each other." As they continued their walk, the conversation shifted to more personal topics. Elira shared her dreams of integrating more Earth-like features into Zarminian habitats. Jack, in turn, expressed his hopes for future collaborations between their planets. "I think there's a lot of potential for us, not just scientifically but culturally too," Jack remarked. "Our meeting here might just be the beginning." Elira paused, looking thoughtful. "I hope so. There's something quite special about sharing our worlds with someone who understands and appreciates them." They stopped by a large, mirrored pond, reflecting the sky above. It was a quiet spot, away from the usual paths. Jack took a deep breath, feeling more connected to Elira than he had anticipated. "Elira, I have to say, this day has been enlightening," he confessed, watching the light play on the water's surface. Elira smiled, a gentle expression that matched the tranquility of the setting. "For me as well, Jack. It's rare to meet someone from another world who feels so familiar." Their conversation drifted into a comfortable silence, each lost in their thoughts but appreciative of the other's company. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows over the garden, they reluctantly made their way back to the palace. "I'd like to show you more of Zarmina," Elira said as they neared the entrance. "There's so much more to share." "I'd like that," Jack replied, realizing how much he had come to enjoy her company and her insights. As they parted ways, Jack felt a sense of anticipation for the days to come. This connection with Elira was not just about diplomatic relations. It was becoming a personal journey that could shape the future of both their worlds. Jack found himself looking forward to his days on Zarmina with a renewed vigor, particularly because of his growing friendship with Elira. Their shared interest in ecology had sparked many conversations, but today, they planned to explore more about each other's cultural heritage. For this purpose, Captain Torin had arranged a visit to a prominent museum, accompanied by Lauren, who was eager to learn alongside Jack. As they arrived, Captain Torin greeted them with a nod. This museum houses artifacts that span thousands of Zarminian years. I think you'll find the history as rich as the culture itself. Thank you, Captain, Jack replied, his interest piqued. I'm looking forward to understanding more about your history. The group began their tour, led by a curator, Dr. Harin, a man well-versed in his planet's lore. Each exhibit tells a story of our development, from ancient civilizations to our current technological era, Dr. Harin explained, guiding them through a series of impressive displays. As they moved from one exhibit to another, Jack noted the parallels and divergences between Earth and Zarmina. Our histories have taken different paths, but the underlying drive for progress seems universal, he commented. Lauren, who had been listening intently, added, It's fascinating to see how certain themes recur, isn't it? On Earth, what would you say has been a significant driver for your historical changes? Jack thought for a moment before answering. In many cases, it's been the pursuit of knowledge and the desire for a better life. Much like what I see here. Their discussion deepened as they stood before a diorama depicting an ancient Zarminian city. Elira joined in, her eyes bright with enthusiasm. This city was known for its scholars and artists. We still draw on the technologies developed here. It's similar to our Renaissance period, Jack said, drawing a comparison that sparked a new round of discussions among the group. The morning passed quickly, and soon they found themselves in a section of the museum dedicated to Zarminian achievements in space exploration. Our ventures into space were motivated by a need to understand the universe and our place within it, Captain Torin explained, his voice filled with pride. Jack nodded, his mind on similar human endeavors. The same has been true for us. It started with curiosity and has now become a vital part of our existence. As the tour concluded, the group decided to have lunch in the museum's rooftop cafe, where they continued their exchange of ideas. The conversation shifted from historical achievements to personal aspirations, which allowed Jack and Elira to reconnect over shared goals for environmental and interplanetary cooperation. Elira leaned in slightly, her tone earnest. Jack, your insights today have given me a lot to think about. Not just for Zarmina, but for how we might collaborate with Earth on future projects. I've been thinking the same, Jack admitted, encouraged by her words. There's so much potential for us to work together, not just on environmental issues, but also in cultural exchanges. Lauren, observing their camaraderie, suggested, why not propose a joint initiative? Start small, perhaps a shared research program? That sounds like a brilliant idea, Jack responded enthusiastically. Elira, what do you think? I think it would be a wonderful start, Elira agreed, her smile mirroring Jack's excitement. Let's draft a proposal together. What better way to symbolize our planet's friendship? As the day ended, Jack felt a sense of accomplishment and anticipation. Not only had he learned much about Zarmina's past, but he had also helped pave the way for a hopeful future. The bond between him and Elira, strengthened by shared passions and visions for their worlds, seemed a promising beacon for potential peace and unity. The proposal for a joint Earth-Zarmina research initiative was well underway, crafted by Jack and Elira with input from both their world's top experts. Today, they were scheduled to present it to the Queen and her council, a panel that included not only the matriarchs but also key figures from various sectors of Zarminian society. Jack felt the weight of this moment, understanding that the council's approval was crucial. As they walked towards the council chamber, Sir Kalen joined them, his expression a mixture of encouragement and seriousness. Jack, your proposal has generated much interest, but also some concerns. Be prepared to address questions regarding both the benefits and the potential risks. Jack nodded, taking a deep breath. Thank you, Sir Kalen. I appreciate the heads up. Inside the grand chamber, the atmosphere was formal yet charged with an undercurrent of anticipation. The Queen welcomed them warmly, but with a discerning eye. "We are eager to hear of this initiative that promises to bring our worlds closer," she stated. Jack began the presentation, explaining the scientific and cultural benefits of the initiative. "Our aim is to foster not only technological and ecological advancements, but also deeper understanding and respect between our people." Elira then took over, detailing the project's scope and the mechanisms for collaboration. "We envision a series of exchanges and joint projects that will benefit both Zarmina and Earth, enhancing our knowledge and capabilities." However, as they opened the floor to questions, a council member, Lord Vyrek, raised a concern. "While the benefits are clear, have you considered the risks of such close interaction? The sharing of knowledge must be controlled to prevent misuse." Jack responded thoughtfully, "Absolutely, Lord Vyrek. We propose strict protocols for data sharing and project management to mitigate those risks." Another council member, a scientist named Dr. Kalin, followed up. "What about the biological hazards? Introducing Earth species, even at a microbial level, could be dangerous." Dr. Farron, who had been instrumental in preparing the proposal, reassured the council. "We've planned for extensive quarantine and biosafety measures. Both planets will benefit from our vigilance." The discussion grew intense, with various members expressing both support and concerns. Captain Torin, who had been quiet, finally spoke. "Security isn't just about preventing conflict. It's about ensuring these exchanges don't compromise our societal integrity." Jack acknowledged this. "We are fully committed to conducting all activities transparently and with the utmost respect for each world's regulations and cultural values." The Queen listened carefully to each exchange, her gaze shifting thoughtfully between her council and the presenters. After everyone had spoken, she finally addressed the room. "This initiative represents a significant step for Zarmina and Earth. It is a testament to our desire to look beyond our horizons and learn from one another." She paused, then continued, "We will take a phased approach, starting small and evaluating at each step. Your proposal is approved, with the condition of regular reviews and adjustments as necessary." Relief washed over Jack and Elira as the council applauded the decision. They had cleared a major hurdle, but the approval also marked the beginning of a new set of challenges. As they left the chamber, Sir Kalin patted Jack on the back. "Well done. Today, you handled yourself not just as a diplomat, but as a true partner to Zarmina." Jack smiled, grateful for the support. "Thanks, Sir Kalin. It feels good to move forward, especially with such a strong team." Elira, beaming with pride and relief, squeezed Jack's hand briefly. "Let's make this work, for both our worlds." The day closed on a note of cautious optimism. The road ahead was uncertain, but Jack and Elira were ready to navigate it together, guided by their shared vision and newly affirmed trust. The approval of the Earth-Zarmina joint initiative marked a pivotal moment for Jack and Elira, but it also set the stage for the practical work that lay ahead. The first phase of their project was to establish a series of joint research facilities, starting with a pilot program focused on sustainable agriculture, combining the best of both worlds' technologies. As they prepared for the launch of this first project, Jack met with Sir Kalin and Dr. Farron in the newly established Joint Operations Center, a state-of-the-art facility designed to foster collaboration. "Jack, the integration of our agricultural techniques with Earth's permaculture practices could set a new standard for planetary agriculture," Dr. Farron stated enthusiastically, showing diagrams and data projections on the screen. "I agree," Jack replied. "The potential for increased yield and reduced environmental impact is enormous. It's exactly the kind of practical benefit we hope to achieve." Sir Kalin nodded, his eyes scanning the room filled with Zarminian and Earth scientists working together. "This center is just the beginning. We need to ensure that our collaboration is not only scientifically productive, but also culturally sensitive." Jack appreciated Kalin's foresight. "Absolutely, we're not just merging technologies, but also blending teams from two very different cultures. It's crucial we get this right." As they discussed integration strategies, Elira joined them, her presence brightening the room. "How are things progressing here?" she asked, looking around at the busy teams. "Very well," Jack answered. "Everyone is eager to contribute. There's a real sense of purpose." Elira smiled. "That's wonderful to hear. I've arranged for some of our top cultural advisors to join the teams next week. They'll help facilitate a smoother integration of our people. Excellent idea, Sir Kalen agreed. It's important that this cooperation goes beyond the labs and into the everyday interactions between our people. The conversation shifted to future projects. Once we establish a successful model here, we could expand to other areas like energy production, water conservation, and even joint space exploration, Jack proposed. Dr. Farron was quick to support the idea. The implications are vast. Successfully blending our approaches could lead us to innovations we haven't yet imagined. As the meeting concluded, Jack and Elira walked through the facility, observing the teams at work. They stopped by a group focused on soil enhancement techniques, where a young Zarminian scientist was explaining her latest findings to a team from Earth. It's incredible, Jack remarked, watching the exchange. Seeing our teams work together like this, it gives me hope for what we can achieve. Elira nodded, her expression thoughtful. It's a testament to what can be achieved when we truly collaborate. And it's just the start. Their next stop was the communications wing, where Lauren was coordinating the public relations aspect of the initiative. We want to make sure both our planets are kept informed about our progress and the benefits, Lauren explained. Transparency will help foster wider support. Communication will be key, Jack agreed. We need everyone to see the value of what we're doing here. As the day ended, Jack and Elira took a moment to enjoy the view from the center's observation deck, overlooking the sprawling complex. The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the facility. This is more than I ever imagined when I first came to Zarmina, Jack said, his voice reflective. And it's only the beginning, Elira responded, her hand finding his. Together, we'll build something that lasts, something that makes both our worlds better. The future was uncertain, filled with challenges and opportunities, but as they stood together, watching the night descend over their joint endeavor, Jack felt a profound connection not only to Elira but to the entire endeavor. They were building more than facilities. They were building a bridge between two worlds, one hopeful project at a time.